Back now, live with Charlie Sheen. Charlie, when we went to the break, I asked you whether you thought that perhaps behind all this was some effort at CBS by the producers of the show and maybe executives there, that they'd had enough of all the publicity and they were trying to get rid of you, and this seemed a clever way of doing it.
I don't know. That's giving them a whole lot of credit, you know, that they could concoct something that diabolical. If they are, in fact, doing that, I have to tip my hat to them because it's most impressive. I don't think that's the case. I really don't.
I mean, again, I would come back. It's a strange thing to do to a guy who's the star of the big show, right?
Well, plus, it begs the question, why didn't they just replace me after season 7 when I was asking for a ton of dough and say, all right, well, no, we're going to do the show, but not with you.
Let me ask you a direct question.
They had a chance to get rid of me a couple times.
Yeah, they did.
And that's on them now.
And I'd imagine they took the decision not to, probably for commercial reasons. You're too successful for them.
Well, I just don't know how Summer Redstone explains that to his shareholders. We're unloading the reason that the show is a hit.
Let me ask you a direct question. Are you under the influence right now of any substances?
No, nothing. I'm under the influence of you.
Apart from the drug of doing this interview.
You. Yes.
That may not be the best influence.
Yeah, well, I'll take it. It looks pretty cool to me, you know?
But you took a drug test to prove that you are currently completely drug-free.
Yeah, what are those results?
You actually got the results on you?
Well, yeah, these days, I mean, carry this stuff with you, right?
And when was this taken?
It's taken, when was it taken? Yesterday?
And this is...
the day before.
Okay,
yeah.
So assuming this is accurate, which I believe it is, this is completely clean. So when was the last time you took a drug?
I don't know, because not being, you know, held hostage by AA anymore, I don't count my days. Because it puts such a premium on them, and then you run around with your days going, oh, God, don't lose your days, don't lose your days. Boom, I lost my days. And then it's like, where'd my days go?
You said
keep coming back. Here's your 1 day back. Everything's cool.
I'm going to come to the treatment aspect in a moment, but I'm curious, if you had your time again, would you ever get into drugs? Do you wish you never got on that step?
There's a couple of things I wish I hadn't started. One of them is smoking cigarettes. But now I had a CT scan. I have the lungs of a non-smoker, which is a little bit weird after, 2 packs a day for 25 years. Of course, you can't hear it in my voice or anything. But
what about drugs, narcotics?
Drugs, yeah, but I guess that there is some school of thought that dictates that we are the sum total of all of our experiences, both good or bad, win, lose, or draw, like that. So I don't think I would trade any of it because I'm still alive, which is pretty cool.
Have there been moments when you've thought to yourself, and I'm talking recently in some of these benders that you've talked about, where you thought, you've been hospitalized a couple of times, where you thought, I may die?
Probably more subconsciously, not so much at the forefront of, within the scenario or whatever's taking place. Yeah, it's of course it had crossed my mind. I'd be a liar if I sat here and said it hadn't, but not to the point where I ever felt like I was blacking out or passing out or having a giant heart pain or something like that. But it doesn't, I can't be in denial and say that it didn't feel that something could have gone sideways real quick.
I mean, addiction specialists, you've seen them all coming out in the last few
years. Been around for 22 years.
Right.
And been lying to me for 2 decades.
Right, well, and we'll come to that. But the premise of their argument with you is that you're in some kind of denial about this, and actually you've never really stopped and thought, I've got to sort myself out properly. That if you do follow their programs, they can work, and lots of people would be watching this saying, it worked for me. And then I can have a life like theirs? I'm going to pass. Really? Why?
Why? Because I'm a winner, and their lives look like they're, ruled by losers. I mean, just to put it in black and white terms. I don't want their lives, and they want mine, but they want to criticize the hell out of it, And now they've run the gamut from like, okay, he's not loaded, now what? Oh, he's manic. I don't even know what that means. That, I guess, would imply that there's going to be a crash. I don't know when that's coming. But maybe you can cover it when it does,
See, some of the interviews you've given, I've listened to...
A little excited.
Well, no, some of them I thought you were energized. Yeah, some of them I thought you were a little bit erratic. Yeah, when I'm listening to you tonight, on this interview, I don't think you sound that crazy at all. You sound alarmingly normal.
Thank you.
Use that phrase.
Thank you. No, I am here. I'm right here.
But I can't pretend, as somebody who knew you from the early 90s, I can't pretend I haven't watched the stories from afar and thought, I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
I hope that he's not going to do something
Sure,
stupid here.
appreciate that. Thank you.
And a lot of your fans will be watching this feeling the same way, that
Sure.
it's kind of, you're on tenterhooks with you all the time. That leading your life on the edge like this is a constant worry for family, for friends, for fans, isn't it?
I wish people would shift that focus onto themselves and their own family and their own friends, and just maybe spend a little more time on their home front, and not some distant planet that is me, and not offer opinions and judgments about a guy they don't even know. It's a guy that, you know, even if I get an interview that's, you know, a Q&A, oh, you can control it. No, you can't, man. There's bookends to tell you how you're supposed to feel before you read it, and then how you're supposed to feel after you're done. And so people don't really ever get a sense of who I am, or what I am, or why I am.
Are you a happy guy?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my motto is enjoy every moment. And
People seem all addicts have to be essentially unhappy people.
I don't believe myself to be an addict. I really don't. I think that I'm going to just ignore or smash or finally dismiss a model that I think is rooted in vintage balderdash, you know, for lack of a better word.
What would you call yourself if you're not an addict?
I mean, what's another word?
I mean, do you think it's simply a case of you like to party? Is it as simple as that?
Well, no, I mean, as long as I subscribe to the beliefs of others that build these models that don't really leave any room for individuality or creativity or anything that, like, you know, they say you gotta surrender and you gotta get rid of your resentments, you gotta sit in a room and, like, be all lame, you know? I can't find a label other than just alive. There's this great quote going around, yeah, I'm on a drug, it's called Charlie Sheen, and it's like...
That's all. I love
That's a good line.
I know you well enough to know when you're joking.
Yeah, of course.
And I've laughed at a lot of the things you've been saying which have enraged other people, because if you don't know you, and when I interviewed you in the 90s, you were hilarious.
Thank you.
And I took about 90% of what you said with what we would say in Britain was a pinch of salt.
There you go.
It was funny, and I still think that you are seeing the humour in all this whilst going through what is a pretty awful situation, and you're feeling angry, but I get the fact you still feel humour as well, right?
Well,
Some of it's absurdly funny.
I have to, and I'm trying to remind people there's a reason that I've had, like, mad success doing comedy. You know, you can't be, like, completely boring and asleep and do, like, really good comedy.
If you were running a network,
right,
let's put you on the spot for a moment. You're in charge of CBS.
I need your tie. I'm going to need your tie for starters. Sorry.
Okay, well, we'll swap ties.
All right. Okay.
So you're running the network.
Right.
How would you have reacted to the star of your #1 family comedy, which is watched by families and liked by families, behaving off-screen in the way that you've been behaving?
Well, I mean, if I was... I first look at the writing. I look at a lot of the stuff that they were already getting away with, because if anything, that's the first shot across the bow at the family aspect of it, and I mean, there's always, you know, a pee-pee or a butt or a, you know, poo-poo joke or a thing, and I'm being, like, kind right now, in ways that they make you see things or feel imagery that is that's just juvenile and gross, and it's not. I don't think it comes close to, or I think it eclipses some of the stuff I'm doing out there on my most epic nights, you know?
And of course the irony is your character's not exactly a saint.
No,
I mean,
he's not. He's not.
I mean, there's a certain brand alignment here, isn't there?
Right, but it's okay to smoke cigars, just not cigarettes. It's okay to drink, you know, tons of vodka, but don't go near cocaine, because God forbid people ever...
Okay to be a big womanizer on the show,
right,
but not in real life.
No.
Do you think there's a hypocrisy there?
I think that they, in some way, think that they have some magic literary influence over me by perhaps writing things and then going, oh my God, look how powerful we are. Now he's doing it. No, morons. The reason the show was created was because of the lifestyle I had, and you guys based it on that. You know, so I gave you so much of your fodder already.
Let's have another break, that's right. When we come back, I want to talk to you about the women in your life.
Love it.